Okay, let me get this straight. Trump's Justice Department is digging through a governor's finances looking for a crime they haven't found, while Trump pockets billions in plain sight. Subscribe and watch this.
In recent days, federal agents have knocked on the doors of family, friends, and former employees. Not because they found a crime, because they're simply trying to find one. They're demanding records. They're abusing the grand jury process, digging through years and years of random documents. Donald Trump isn't just coming after me because of my mean tweets. He's coming after me because I'm considering running for president, because he hates that I've consistently called him out over and over again for his lies and deceit. Donald Trump is simply the most corrupt president in American history. He's turned the levers of government into his own personal power ministries to reward cronies and to try to jail his opponents. His personal attorney now runs the Department of Justice, which has repeatedly gone after his political enemies. Ask Jerome Powell. Sent them after James Comey, Tish James, Adam Schiff. He sent them after Tim Walz, and a woman that a jury found Donald Trump had sexually abused. One by one, anyone who has challenged Donald Trump has ended up on his hit list. And today, I proudly join that list. After calling for my arrest last year, Donald Trump directed his Department of Justice to investigate me. And just in the last week, I've learned that his campaign has reached my own home. To get me, he's coming after my wife, Jen, a public servant, a woman who's dedicated her life to supporting women and girls. Someone who has done nothing wrong other than having the temerity to advocate for what she believes in. If they can't intimidate me, they'll go after the mother of our children. Donald Trump picked the wrong target. We have nothing to hide. His political operatives can take every record and read every page, but they'll be looking in the wrong place. Because if they really want to find corruption, look no further than 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Donald Trump is selling the presidency. He's running the largest cash heist in American political history, trading foreign tariff relief for approval of his golf courses, day trading behind the Resolute desk, reaping hundreds of millions of dollars in personal profit. And he's doing it openly. He's doing it on camera. He did it last night on the White House lawn. He's doing it through cryptocurrencies. He's doing it through the receipt of a $400 million private jet from a foreign government that he plans to keep when he leaves office. Through his son's ventures in countries where his own administration is simultaneously making policy. His personal fortune has skyrocketed by $4 billion since making his return to office. This is the behavior of a regime, not a republic. The White House has become a marketplace for sneakers and coins and watches, cologne, guitars, Bibles, and phones. Influence for sale, access for sale. And today, my family and I can personally confirm that justice is for sale. To Donald Trump, who I know is watching because he watches everything, I have a message for you. You can subpoena my records. You can investigate me. You can harass me. Put my name on every and any enemy's list you have, but leave my wife and family out of your personal vendetta. I'd like to say something to my wife. These times are not normal. They're not ordinary. I love you, and I'm sorry he's doing this. You have not earned a single one of the indignities that he's trying to inflict on you and our children. And to Donald Trump, this country does not belong to you. It does not belong to your cronies. And we're going to fight your lawlessness. And we're going to continue to remind the people of this country of your corruption. That same corruption our founders warned us against as we move to celebrate our 250th anniversary. I'm going to keep reminding Americans of what they warned would happen if a man with no character ever held the office of presidency. So let me say it again. Mr. President, come after me. I'm not going anywhere. And the country is watching.
Here's what's actually happening. Federal agents have been knocking on the doors of Gavin Newsom's family, friends, and former employees. Grand jury subpoenas went out for financial records tied to him and his wife, Jennifer. Newsom's office says more than a dozen people were approached by the FBI and IRS, and the questions were so specific that investigators clearly already had the records. No crime was found first. They went looking for one. That is the part that should stop you cold. And listen to how Newsom frames it, because he is not guessing here. He says this did not start with evidence. It started with a target. The agents showed up not because they found a crime, but because they were trying to manufacture one. That is not law enforcement. That is a fishing expedition with a badge aimed at a man who happens to be weighing a run for president. Now put Newsom on the list with everyone else. James Comey, indicted after Trump publicly demanded it. Letitia James, investigated. Adam Schiff, hit with a mortgage fraud inquiry his own attorney calls long debunked. And here is the tell. Career prosecutors looked at these cases, said there was not enough evidence, and at least one U.S. attorney resigned rather than bring charges. When the people whose entire job is to prosecute refuse to, that tells you everything. This is the line Republicans do not want repeated on camera. Trump's personal attorney now runs the Justice Department, and that department keeps landing on the same names: Comey, James, Schiff, Tim Walz. Even a woman a jury found Trump had sexually abused. One after another, everyone who challenged him ends up under federal scrutiny. That is a pattern, not a coincidence. And look at what the Comey case is actually built on. An Instagram post. Seashells arranged to read 8647, which Trump decided was a threat against the 47th president. 3 pages of charges. Legal experts say it does not come close to the legal definition of a threat. The prosecutor who brought it, Lindsay Halligan, Trump's former personal lawyer, installed only after the previous U.S. attorney refused. That is not a case. That is a grudge with a docket number. Then it gets personal. Newsom says the campaign reached his own home, and now they are going after his wife, Jen, a public servant who has spent her life advocating for women and girls. Watch this moment, because the message is unmistakable. If they cannot intimidate the critic, they go after the family. That is the playbook of a regime that wants dissent to cost you everything you love. So while all of that is aimed at the critics, let's talk about where the actual money is. Trump's personal fortune climbed by roughly $3 billion in his first year back in office. Forbes puts his net worth around $6 billion. The engine? A family crypto operation called World Liberty Financial, and the Trump meme coin that generated tens of millions in fees. The president sets economic policy while his family profits off the very people that policy touches. And that is exactly where Newsom points, not at himself, at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. He calls it the largest cash heist in American political history. Day trading behind the Resolute desk. Selling the presidency openly on camera. When the accusation against him is corruption, his answer is simple. You want corruption? Look at the man making the accusation. And the receipts back the heist. Countries hit with steep U.S. tariffs kept securing relief right as they handed the Trump Organization a win. Vietnam got slammed with one of the highest rates, then cut a deal, then fast-tracked a $1.5 billion Trump golf resort through approvals that normally take years. A Dubai firm paid the family millions while chasing U.S. data center deals. Tariff policy for golf permits. That is, pay to play in writing. Then, the part that needs no translation. A $400 million jet handed over by a foreign government. A personal fortune of billions since he took office. Newsom calls it the behavior of a regime, not a republic. And honestly, when the White House is selling sneakers, coins, watches, and Bibles, it is hard to argue with the word marketplace. That jet is a Boeing 747-8, worth about $400 million. Accepted from Qatar for use as a presidential aircraft. Katter calls it a government transfer. Legal experts call it a likely violation of the Emoluments Clause, the part of the Constitution that bars officials from taking gifts from foreign states without Congress. So here is the line. The man whose Justice Department is hunting a governor for a crime it cannot find is the same man taking a jet he is not allowed to keep. Newsom did not need a speech. He put the record next to the accusation, and the accusation collapsed. Full stop. If this made it click, hit like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.